Hello, how's it going, guys and girls? Let's just make sure our settings are all good. And of course, my laptop needs to get charged. Give me 1 second. Let me get the charger going. I should have checked that before I went live. But, that's how things go sometimes, boys and girls. If you have any questions, you can leave it in the comment or the live chat section, and I'll answer any questions. If not, I do plan on going over just some of my latest writing techniques. I'll kind of show you guys how I write content right now, the format that I use to write content. Okay, that's a good first question, Albert. We could probably talk about that for hours. But I think AI generated content, I think it really depends on the type of AI generated content that you are creating. Because for instance, I'll show you guys some of my websites that I've worked on in the past. And I did find that when I sort of bulk generated content and I just spammed a website with AI generated content, I did get a little bit of a boost in rankings at the beginning. I did get some keyword rankings, some traffic at the beginning, but then there's something that always happens that tapers it off, and then I lose those rankings. So what's the point of putting all that work in if we're just going to lose those rankings, right? So for example, I'll show you. So this is one of the websites that I worked on in the past, and this website was doing really well. It had a big spike. It was ranking for a decent amount of keywords, but now, as you can see, only one page is ranking. Everything else is not doing well at all. And this website was, when I first started it off, it was growing pretty rapidly, and then again we had a big fall off. And that's the same thing with this other website, which was called Canadian Loan Finder. Again, same thing. If you look at last 3 months, we had a big spike at the beginning, and then it kind of just died, right? And I think this is the problem when it comes to AI generated content, is that you can get some rankings, but the rankings don't last, and that's a big problem, right? Because if you're putting in all that time and effort, you want to be able to get some type of ROI on that. Now let's compare that to some other sites that I've worked on. Now this is a newer site that I've been working on for a client. As you can see, the impressions are improving. This was a brand new website as well. Now this website is actually doing a lot better. We're ranking for the homepage, of course. We're also ranking for a couple of other blog posts in which I created. So how to get approved for an ATV in Canada with bad credit. So if you actually go ahead and click into that website, we can see that this is an article that I created using AI, but it's doing pretty well, and we're not losing any rankings. So Albert, what I would say is that you need to make sure that your website is looked as a real business in the eyes of Google. So what I mean by that is you want to actually have, about pages, you want to have service pages, you want to have your contact us pages, you want to have a face on the website, right? Because I find that there's a big difference, right? When I try to create a site for, the purpose of just building content onto the site to get traffic to then monetize it, like an online publisher, or like what most bloggers tell you to do, I find that that's not working the best. But when I actually work with businesses that have real, brick and mortar businesses, they serve clients, I find that those websites don't really lose rankings as much, right? So I would say try to do your best to see what you can do in order to make your website seem like a real business, and also focus on improving your domain authority. So a lot of times we focus on just increasing the content on our website and ranking that way, but I would also recommend that you focus on improving your domain authority, and that means getting backlinks. Right now, depending on what your website is, that's going to depend on what type of backlink strategy you're going to use, right? So I don't know what your website is. If you want to share that, you can, and I can tell you some tips, or you can send me over an email support@wordrocket.ai, and I can help you out with that a little bit more in depth. But yeah, guys, I would recommend that if you're having an issue where you've ranked for some keywords, but then you've lost those rankings, I would recommend that you try your best to make your website seem like a real business. Focus on getting traffic from other sources. So you can focus on getting traffic from Pinterest, you can focus on getting traffic from Facebook, you can focus on getting traffic from YouTube, other mediums, social media as well. And you want to really make it a key point to build up your authority, right? So your authority is going to be your domain rating and your URL rating, but the most important thing is going to be your backlinks and your referring domains. So you want to be able to get some high quality backlinks to your websites. Now you can either go out and buy backlinks if you like. If you don't want to buy backlinks, you can simply reach out to businesses in your field or in your shoulder niche to see if they would actually give you a backlink and you exchange a backlink with them. There's a lot of different ways in which you can go about getting backlinks. I did a couple of videos on that in the past. But if you guys have any questions, again, leave it in the live chat. If not, I'm going to show you guys how I write live up-to-date articles for this time. So what I like to do is I work with a mortgage client. So what I would usually do is I would search up mortgage news in Canada, and then I will try to find to see, some news that are good. Do you recommend rewriting articles with AI for SEO, like rewriting news articles? Okay, Vin, this is actually what I'm going to do right now. So this is how I would rewrite an article. So let's say you haven't written an article, but you find an article on Google that you really like. So let's say, for example, this is the article here. Mortgage renewals and population uncertainty weigh on Bank of Canada deliberations show. Okay, so this is the article here. Pretty long, pretty in-depth. So what I want to do is I want to rewrite this article. So what I'm going to do is, obviously, first I'm going to copy over just the content of the article. You can do Control-A, but it's going to copy over everything on that web page. And then I'm going to open up Claude. Let's go ahead and close this. Now, when using Claude, you can either use the actual API, or you can use the chat mode. I did upgrade my plan, so I recommend using either or works best, but Claude will work the best for this specific type of content. Now, this is the prompt in which you can use. I think I already have a prompt here, so let's see actually if I can go back to any of my older prompts. Let's see this one. That's fine. I'll show you guys what the prompt will look like. So we're going to paste in the content, and we're going to tell Claude I want you to use this article as inspiration for a new, unique article on this topic. Do not plagiarize. Write in your own words. Be in-depth, informative, and engaging. Include lists, tables, charts, bolded words. Aim for 2,000 words. It probably will write less than that. Write about topic / information we provided, but also add your own unique information / points / examples to make it unique, whatever. Right, so this is a simple prompt in which you can use. I can copy over this prompt and paste it into the live chat there, so you guys can use it for yourself. But this is a very, very simple prompt. When you're using Claude, I find that Claude is really good at following instructions, so you don't need to necessarily tell it to write. You need to have like this long prompt. Now, in terms of SEO optimization, what I would add to this prompt, I'll show you guys what I would add. I would add so that it would write in an SEO optimized way to target that keyword. Right, but as you can see here, we're getting a really, really good article already with just a simple prompt. Again, what I would do is I would add something to this to make it a little bit more SEO optimized. So let's see if I can paste this in here. I think that's too long, yeah. So you guys can actually go ahead and use that prompt for yourselves. Let's go ahead and take a look at the article. We're going to copy this over, convert it into Markdown so we can read it a little bit better. Okay, so economic crossroads, Bank of Canada navigates inflation, housing, and population dynamics, the inflation tightrope, blah, blah, blah. Right, it's a really good article here. But the conclusion, let's actually see how long this article was. So only 1,000 words. So what I can do is I can now tell it to keep same format, but now expand the blog post to be, and usually when I give it this second prompt, it will actually follow these instructions, right? So that will actually allow me to get a much longer article. To get the most out of Claude API credits, do you have a specific word count you say within in order to save money but are still able to have high quality content generated and maintain search rank? I would say like Claude is pretty good at listening to instructions. Of course, it really didn't listen to my instruction when I told it to write 2,000 words, but if you tell it to actually stay within a word limit, it will stay within that limit. So I guess this question from Bar, you don't want it to write too much content because then you would have to pay for it, I assume. But if you just tell it simply to write, do not exceed this word count, I would think that Claude would listen because it usually does listen to it. But again, I would say, 1,000 words will probably cost you, less than a cent. So it's not too expensive. But of course, I know some people may be more price sensitive. So let me know if that answers your question, Vin. Albert, in other topic, do you recommend better using GPTs from ChatGPT with knowledge than Claude? Honestly, no. I recommend Claude all the way. I think the only difference with Claude is that it's not trained on up-to-date information. That's the only drawback. So what I sometimes do is I will actually feed information into Claude if I wanted to write a more up-to-date information. So kind of like what I did in this article, I would actually, let's say, for example, I'm writing about the iPhone 14 and that information isn't available on Google. What I would do is I would actually take information from the iPhone 14, paste it into Claude and tell it to use that information to write the article. So now I'm priming the AI with the information that we need. So take a look at this article. This is really, really good, right? So this probably is closer to 2,000 words. Let's see. It's 1,700 words. Pretty good, right? Now what we can do is something that I want to show you guys, which I think is just really, really cool. I can now tell it to, I want you to visualize the data from this blog post by creating a simple HTML element that we can use on a WordPress site. Yes, I think Claude is the best AI for SEO. Gemini is okay. Even Meta is okay, I would say. But I think, I'm not just saying, I think just in terms of the use, the ease of use, how easy it is to create written content, how we can also create a dashboard like this. Like, look at this dashboard. This is beautiful. Let's see the code. Yeah, we should be able to use this in WordPress, right? So like to be able to create things like this and to create really in-depth articles, I think Claude is definitely the best. So I'll show you guys what this looks like when I actually paste it onto my website. Well, what is going on here? They're actually in the process of redoing this website, so I think that's why it's not looking the greatest. So we're gonna add a new post. Okay, ask me later. So we're gonna paste in first. This is gonna be our article, and then we're gonna copy over the code. So copy contents, and then what I'm gonna do is I want to enter this right below the title, HTML, and then paste it in. If you go to preview, it doesn't seem to be working. Oh no, it is working. Nice. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time to load, and even if you don't see it in a preview, I always recommend saving it and actually taking a look at the website. So let's go to view preview. Right, so look at this. We have a beautiful chart here. Canadian economic dashboard. We see the unemployment rate, we see the NPRs as a share of population, and we see the potential mortgage payment increase up to 2026. So like, this is a beautiful chart. It's not as interactive as we saw in the actual element here. I think it looked a little bit more interactive, but you know, it didn't take us a lot of time to create this, right? And this is beautiful. Like, this looks really, really good. This takes your article from just a written article that anyone else can do, and this takes it a level above, which Google loves. And when someone comes onto your article and they see this, they're impressed. They're going to read it a little bit longer, and they'll probably stay on your webpage a little bit longer, which will then allow you to rank higher for that specific keyword. So that's why I really, really, really like Claude. Its ability to do these types of things, and it doesn't take too long, and you don't have to be very good at coding to be able to do something like this, right? So I would totally recommend Claude. I think it's really, really good. I don't think GPT-4o matches up to Claude at this time. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to tell it to create an SEO optimized title and meta description. So again, what we can do is we can add in a couple of internal and external links. We can add in a couple of images, and I think that article will be really, really good. For SEO purposes, is it better to start the content with plain text, not with HTML code, because of crawling? Yeah, I would start like how you guys saw I created that article. I start with written content. Oh, I got it. I see what you're saying now. You're saying it's better to start with written content with plain text, not HTML code. So you're saying maybe put this chart a little bit lower in the in the article. I would say I like to optimize for the user, right? So if I'm a user and I'm coming onto a site and I see this chart right away, this gives me a good snapshot of this actual topic, right? So I would prefer to see this first, because this would give me something that's new, something that's visually appealing that I can see quickly and I can take a look at it. So by that means, I would prefer to have this at the top of the article and then have my written content below the article. Yes, you can say for crawling and things of that nature, but I think if we're optimizing for the user, then we'll be fine, right? We need to optimize for the user, because that's what Google is also optimizing for. They want to make sure that the user is having the best experience when it comes to any search or any blog post. Okay, Ahmad, you sent a message and then you retracted it. Okay, no problem. Yeah, so what I'm gonna do now is I've asked it to create an SEO optimized title and meta description. So we're gonna edit this post. And for SEO, I usually use Yoast. I think it's pretty easy to use. This title could probably be a little bit better. Canada's economic outlook. I'll probably have to take some time to think about what title would be the best. And then a meta description. You save the draft. And we're gonna add an image in for the featured image. So something with the economy would be good. We can set that, and then we can publish it. So this is what the article will look like once it's all finished. And as you guys saw, it really did not take me that long to be able to do it. Yeah, rank math is also good. I've used it a little bit. It kind of gives you some SEO optimization scores and some on-page SEO scores. That's totally fine for you to use. You know, I don't get caught up too much in the nitty-gritty of things, especially when it comes to creating content, because you know, I've created a lot of content, and the content that I think will rank sometimes doesn't rank, and the content that I think will rank or won't rank actually ranks. So while there is obviously a science to it, you need to find that balance between, you know, creating quality articles and being consistent in the quantity of articles in which you're creating. Right? So I try to create as many articles as I can for this specific website. You know, we've seen a direct ROI to creating consistent content, and we're having a mixture between content that we find on Ahrefs and content that we find that are new and up to date within that niche. So I would say if you can find new and up to date information to write about on your website, that's a really, really good ranking factor as well. Google loves that. So if you're in like the garden niche, if you're in the travel niche, like for instance, what I would do is I would go on Google and type in travel news today, right? So I tried to find, I know this is probably gonna have more things about like airlines and things of that nature, but you could probably find some content in which you can repurpose, right? So protests, whatever, air passenger rights group sues WestJet over misleading information, like things of this nature you can add onto your content plan. You don't always have to, you know, go into Ahrefs and find keyword ideas, because most of the times that's what your competitors are doing. So it gives you a little bit of a competitive advantage when you can write on new and up-to-date topics. And I know that works. I'll show you guys an example. I think I already have the search console open. Let's see. So for example here, again, this was a new website, and we created an article on a new and up-to-date topic that was fairly popular at that time. And for being a brand new website, we were able to get like over 3,000 impressions and 14 clicks in one day, right? Because it was a viral topic. Obviously, the problem is then it kind of like dies out, but that's when you continue to create content, and you need to have a mixture between evergreen content and content that is new and fresh. Do you only use Sonnet? Yes. As of now, I primarily use Sonnet. I've done some videos using Meta AI. Meta AI is free, by the way, so if you guys want to check it out, you can check it out for free. I think it's available in most countries. I'm not entirely sure if there is any limits on that, but you can use Meta AI for free. There's also Gemini. Again, like I would stay away from any of these unless you, let's say you don't have the paid plan for Claude and you run out of credits, then I would recommend using any other tool. You can actually also use the API console. I showed you guys how to use the chat mode. You can use the API console as well. So the API console is a little bit different. There's a couple of different cool things in which you can explore. There's the generate a prompt. So this will actually allow you to generate a prompt based upon the task in which you're creating. So let's say I want to create a engaging email in the voice of Alex Hormozy for my newsletter about AI and SEO. Right, so I can give it a task, create prompt or generate prompt, and it will actually generate that prompt for me. So this is really, really good because of course the AI is going to know the best way on how to prompt the AI, right? So once it creates the prompt, I'll show you guys once it's all finished here. We can click continue and it will open up the console, and then we can actually go ahead and where'd the prompt go? Well, usually what happens is it will pop the prompt up back into the API console, and we can actually go ahead and use that prompt. And I find using the API, you can actually, if you don't want to pay for the professional plan, it's about $25 per month. If you use the API, if you're writing a lot of content, you probably wouldn't even hit $25 per month. So sometimes it's actually cheaper to use the API console compared to using the actual chat mode. So if we're using the API console, it's very simple to use. You just have to enter your system prompt. So for most of my writing, I will use my prompts. If you guys want these prompts again, you can, I'll leave a link below, but I think most of you already have the prompts. So what I would do is I would prime the AI by copying over these prompts right here. I'm not going to copy over all of them because I think you guys kind of already know the methods that I use. And then this is how I prime the AI, and then I tell it to, write a SEO optimize outline on X topic. And on let's actually just write it on how to become an AI consultant. Write in Markdown. So then what we want to do is we want to actually play around with the model settings. So that's right at the top near to get code. We want to make sure we're using Sonnet, the latest model, and then we're going to increase the maximum token. So essentially, this tells the AI how much content to write. We're going to keep the temperature as is and click run. Okay, so this is the output in which we get back. And once it's finished, you add it to the conversation. So now it's going to be on the left-hand side here, and then you tell it to now write the full article. And then again, click run, and it will run. So very, very simple to use. If you haven't used it before, recommend trying it out. It is a little bit different at the beginning, but once you start using it, it's as simple as 1, 2, 3. So if you guys don't have any questions, I will probably end the live very, very soon. So if you have any questions, please let me know in the live chat. Also, I want you guys to know that I do have a paid community. I also go live in that community, and I also do one-to-one private meetings as well, because it is a smaller community. So it's on School. And if you join the School community, you will also get access to my course. So my course is called AI Writing Mastery. I've created this course pretty much going over every single thing that you can think of when it comes to writing AI content. So these are all new videos. These are not videos that are on my YouTube channel. They're completely new. So again, if you want to check it out, you can check out the School community. Let me just copy over the link. I don't think you guys will be able to. How about backlinks? Do you have any recommendations for it? Yeah, so for backlinks, I recommend, there's a couple things in which you guys could do for backlinks. I recommend that you first think about, what you can do if you're in the niche to get easy backlinks. So a strategy in which I've used before is I've worked with some, brick and mortar businesses. Like for example, let's say I work with a mortgage company. I can create a list of the best real estate agents in Toronto, have that list of the best, and then I can actually get in contact with these real estate agents, and I can get them to say, hey, I've featured you into a blog post. Would you mind sharing this on your website? Right? So that's an easy way in which you can do so, right? You can try to find, if you can write on brick and mortar local businesses and then message those businesses to tell them that you featured them. If they would like to link back to your website, you would be grateful, and usually they're willing to do so because you've mentioned them within a blog post, right? So that's an easy way in which you can do so. You can go a passive route, which is creating these HTML elements that I showed you guys earlier in the live, and hopefully people will link out to those elements. You can do guest posting. So you can head over to Google and search up your niche, and then search up guest posting, and then you should be able to get a list of websites that accept guest posting, and you can start writing for those websites. Like, usually that's easier to do because you don't have to pay them anything. Some websites you do have to pay, right? Or the last option is you can actually buy backlinks. Now, I don't have a reputable source of backlinks that I can confidently recommend to you guys, so I wouldn't necessarily say use this service or use that service, but you definitely can find high quality places that you can buy backlinks. So those are a couple of ways. You create list style blog posts where you mention companies or businesses that you can get in contact with, that's in your shoulder niche, not your direct niche. You're not writing about your competitors, and have them link back to your sites. You can create very in-depth HTML elements, guides, really in-depth content using AI. It's not that hard to do so now, where you can create new data around information within your niche, and hopefully people will link out to that. Or you can do guest posting, where you go on Google, you search up guest posting websites, and then you write for those websites. In return, they'll give you a guest post. I think those are probably the best ways that you can approach backlinks. I did a couple videos on backlinks as well, going over this whole slide. So again, if you want to check that out, I will leave a link below, or you can just type in my YouTube name and backlinks and you should be able to find it. Do you use Grammarly AI for content? Fix grammar errors. I do not use Grammarly AI because when you're writing AI content is pretty good at writing content that is grammatically correct. So I don't even usually, and this is just me being frank, I don't usually proofread my content. I skim through it. I believe I have Grammarly installed, so it would tell me if something's incorrect. But the AI is really good at writing content, so I don't really proofread it. Yes, my masterclass course is up to date. If you go back, you can actually see that I updated it recently with a module from Meta AI. I updated it, I believe, on Claude 3.5 Sonnet as well. So it is up to date. But the reason why I would recommend the masterclass is if you don't necessarily have a lot of experience using AI writing. It's because it's a very sort of strategic way of approaching AI writing. So it goes from, getting your API access, to getting access to Claude, to using the OpenAI playground, to using the Claude API or the web app, right? So some of it, of course, is going to be out of date because AI moves very, very rapidly, but it's a very sequential way for you to learn about AI and AI writing. We talk about writing Amazon product comparisons, writing a 4,000 word blog post, turning YouTube videos into blog posts, using GPT to rewrite articles, writing articles that are going to be low AI or less likely to be detected as AI, SEO, blog writing flow, and then we do some tutorials on some actual tools like SEO writing, and again we talk about Claude AI, Gemini, using Claude Sonnet and creating factual articles, Meta AI, and so on. So there's a lot of content in here. It is up to date, but again, it goes into a very sequential way for you to be able to learn how to write the best AI content. So you can either get it by joining the school community, which is only $10 per month, or you can pay one time, and I believe that is $97 per month. So let me actually pull it up for you guys quickly. So if you guys don't have any other questions, then I will be... Yes, I really like NeuronWriter. I think it's one of the better tools in terms of content optimization. And if you were able to get the lifetime deal, it's a pretty good deal, right? Because you're just paying one time for that. So I like NeuronWriter. It's easy. All you have to do is type in the keyword in which you're trying to optimize for. And then once you type that in, it will give you optimization recommendations. You paste in the content, and then you see where you can actually fix the optimizations. So I do like NeuronWriter. Do I use it for every single one of my articles? I do not. But that is up to you if you want to use it for every single one of your articles. Yeah, the other tools are pretty expensive. For example, Surfer SEO is pretty expensive. I think Phrase is also pretty expensive. The best tools I would say is New and Writer in terms of pricing. Writer's End is also really good. They used to have a lifetime deal. They don't have a lifetime deal anymore. So that's kind of the problem with them as well. Okay, so this is the AI writing. Let me just copy over all of these so you guys can get them. I'll probably be going live and doing more Q&As on this channel. So if you guys like this, give us a thumbs up. But just tuning in and asking questions is more than enough. I appreciate that from you guys. And since you guys are here, I want to give you guys a little bit of an update as well. I am still working on releasing my own AI writing tool. It's been a little bit of a journey, but we are getting closer and closer to actually launching a really good tool that I'm proud of. We do still have WordRocket, which is available, but in terms of, let's say, the writing quality, it's still not there, and we haven't necessarily integrated it with with Sonnet 3.5. So for that reason, I haven't really been pushing the tool as much. But just so you guys know, I am still working on the tool that's going to be really good for, let's say, online publishers, but also really good for online businesses as well. Okay, guys, so that is it for today. Thank you guys for joining, and I will see you guys in the next live. Take care.